what have you been using from what we talked about last week? You could either what have you been doing or what was unclear or any thoughts, any reactions to the conversation from last week.
Seth, I made my first GPT and shared it with my VA for blog writing. So we were already doing blog writing, but then I trained it on all the slugs and the meta title, meta description, all the stuff that she wouldn't know how to do. So we'll see how that all plays out, just to save me some time.
And to be honest, was that all stuff that you knew how to do?
No, I mean, I knew it needed to be filled out, but every time she was submitting a blog for me to review, we didn't have any of that filled out. So it was almost like we were wasting our time even posting a blog.
Okay, so you made a custom GPT. Walk people through a little bit, like how did that process work? And if I said, did that thing take you somewhere between 10 and 30 minutes? Is that about right?
Yeah, that one I have a harder one I'm working on, but that one I think was pretty easy. So I gave it some examples. We have Brevity, so it has kind of a template of what they need for the blog. And so I threw all those things in there. And then I used your prompt cowboy
Yep.
to clean it up. But I said we want it to be like SEO friendly and help position our website higher and, SEO rankings.
And overall, how did it do? I assume it's just something you're kind of working through, and it's
Yeah, I just was showing Steph today, our team owner, and so it pulled like some images, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if we have rights to use those images." So it's been good because I think then there's a few things for me to go back and say, like, unless it's public knowledge, don't include it, or you need to cite it. But so far, so good. I think it's in general simplifying. I used it already and cut and paste from it, and I liked your concept last week of the 10-80-10, and I used that in one of my coaching calls with a client because I'm like, that's a good reminder that it's not 0, 100. I think
yeah.
that's what we want it to be sometimes. So I think when we look at that perspective, it might change how we approach and do things.
Well, just as a reminder, that 10-80-10 idea was like our job is the first 10%, learn to do good prompts, multimodal input, which for me simply means getting information to ChatGPT in different styles, right? Whether it's by text, by talking to it, by transcription, by taking pictures, etc. Priming, I think in a way, Stephanie probably primed this custom GPT by saying something like, I need you to be a blog writing expert. I don't even know what questions to ask you to create a custom GPT that will write a good blog with all the necessary things. What do I need it to know? Right? It's literally priming it. And then the last 10%, which is kind of where we left off last time, is I think we're still at the stage where we absolutely need a human in the loop. AI needs an evaluator. We've got to be looking at the output from it and giving it the sniff test in a way. And then how many different modalities can you get it out in? Pictures, images, websites, and then we'll talk through some agentic stuff. Fancy phrase for having different AIs talk to other AIs. Any other ahas from that process, Hannah?
I don't think so. I mean, I was excited about it and how easy it was and how easy it was to share out with team members. I mean, I think that will be a win is they might not be advancing as quickly as us on the phone here, but we can just like tuck them into what we've already created, which should speed us up on the AI front.
Well, there you go. Who else? Anybody else? What did you get out of last week? What did you find yourself starting to use, or what did you double down and use more of because it was a reminder? Mike, I know you got to roll out here in a little bit. Love to hear any thoughts that you've had from it, etc.
Basically, I went back and took a bunch of notes down and listened to it. I had to take out about 15 minutes early. I was driving when you were doing it. And my plan is for this weekend is to kind of narrow down this week and this week when the next week put them together and put them to use.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Anybody else? Anybody else ahas that you had from last week was kind of this the Chat GPT, the Swiss Army knife AI products for a little bit. Anybody else have any questions that they want to dig in on that? I definitely wanted to front load a little bit of time, but maybe not. Maybe not. All right, maybe we'll dig right back in. I do want to make sure that we are, as much as we can, using this time to actually come up with real life problems inside of your business that you're wondering if AI can help solve. That is how I spend the majority of my time, is I'm just thinking, what am I doing right now in my business and how could AI help me do it better and faster? I just heard this absolutely great talk from I was on a call with another group and I was presenting on AI, and so was a colleague of mine named Sasha Farmer or Sasha Tripp. And she's like, I use ChatGPT or I use AI to to make everything else easier, to automate everything in my life except for human relationships. I use AI to make everything else easier so that I can devote my time to human relationships. I'm like, that feels like it right there. So has anybody had any ideas over this past week of ways that they're wondering, I wonder if AI can help us with that? Because I actually want you guys to start to see that the creativity, the human element of creativity, is actually just coming up with a problem and finding a way that AI can solve it that we weren't thinking of first. Anybody have any ideas that they want to throw out on the table? There's no dumb ideas. There might be ideas that I don't know how to implement, but I'd love to hear them. What are you working on right now inside of your business?
Seth, maybe this will come up later, but we sat in on a train the other day and I was wondering, like, can any of this stuff shoot over to Gmail, like as a draft email? And I'll tell you what I was thinking. We have all these jot forms that come in, and I'm like, could I use that data to write some of the emails for my admin staff versus them going like a new pending email? I was trying to figure out if there's any connectors.
Well, okay. Any connectors? Absolutely. First off, I'm just going to say in this, can you draft an email for me yet in my Gmail? I'm just asking chat right now if it can do that. I can't directly do it. Format screen quickly. Okay, so the answer, Hannah, remember week 1, anything it can't do right now, check back in a month. There's part 1. But number 2, I will show you, like, I'll show you how we're starting to integrate this. I'm gonna show you something right now that is, give me a couple of weeks on this, but I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. None of this is gonna make sense. I'll tell you, this stuff doesn't make sense to me. I just want to show you. Does anybody here use Zapier? Okay, display. All right, so watch this. This is not Zapier, but think of this as like a competitor product to Zapier. And I pulled this workflow. These are some examples of, I set up an email address that is on our domain. So Jarvis at the Daily Group receives an email. Y'all, this is going to start to blow our minds here. An email comes in. This is a workflow that is having that is taking that email into ChatGPT and it's starting to run instructions. Now, I'm having somebody build this for me that's over in India. I haven't even gotten to the point that I'm starting to tinker with the instructions, but short version is this. You see Gmail at the beginning of this and Gmail at the end and a whole bunch of stuff in between. What's it doing? It's taking input from Gmail into this thing and it's spitting it out back into a Gmail email. And that email is coming back to me. So let's see if I can actually show this to you guys in real time. I had a problem with it this morning where it wasn't, sorry, Jarvis of the Daily Group. This here is an example where you see this person sent me over disclosures for a property. And the only action that I took is I forwarded this email to another email address. I sent it the attachments. Here's what it shot back to me, right? So it's now starting to read through stuff and send it back. Now, the reality is this. We could look at this and be like, well, that's not very helpful yet. But all the hard part is actually already done. The plumbing is already connected. Now all we have to do is train it how we want this to look. So we're already getting to the point where we're going to get email to email interaction. Now, could this then come back and when this email comes back, if my only action from here was forward this on as if it literally came from an assistant. Okay, so it's not putting in a draft inside of my email, but that I'm telling you will come very soon as well.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So we're getting super close on that. Super close. One area that I really want to hear from this group, because there's several people on this call that are stronger presenters, run teams, teach things. How are you guys using your content or anything that you're saying that is offline and getting that content out into the world? How are you doing that? Not sure yet. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example of a call that I did. So we're gonna do this in real time right now. So how do I share? Let's share a little different. I'm gonna share this whole desktop over here. I think everybody can see. Are you guys seeing the Canva PowerPoint still? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so watch this. I'm gonna move this over. I'm gonna move over. These are my notes. Does anybody have an iPhone, or are you using at all the record phone call feature? So here's what I did. I had a call with an agent in our brokerage. She might actually be on this call. So here's the call with the agent in our brokerage. I had to call her and I had to explain how I handle the inspection process. And when I called her, I'm like, just so you guys know, I hate inefficient phone calls. So in my mind, literally any call that call is the only efficiency. I'm like, that feels like a waste if it was a training opportunity. So here's what I did. I made a call to her and I said, is it okay if I record this? She said, sure. Then I don't actually know how do I pull it from here. Let's see. All right, we'll jump back into notes. We'll try this one more time. And if it doesn't work, I'll pull it a different way. Call with Latasha. So here it is. Here's the call. And okay, that's weird. Maybe it doesn't work so great from the app. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this from my phone real quick. I'm going into notes on my phone, which is exactly where it put the thing anyways. Yeah, it does not like it on this computer. And I'm going into the note on my phone and I'm grabbing the transcript. Wish I could show this to you guys. So I'm grabbing the transcript of what this thing is. Copy the transcript. And I'm going to go right now into Chat GPT. I'm going to start a new chat. And I'm going to say, build out a training SOP based on this coaching session I had with an agent. And all I'm doing is pasting this in. By the way, if I was starting to do if I was calling a seller and having a price reduction conversation, and I wanted to be like, all right, what did I just do that I could use every time? I would do this same thing. Mike Parker, I'm looking at you. When I think about the number of calls that you make and the genius that's there, the only thing I'm aware of is how do I get it out of your head and out into the world. So I'm gonna walk you guys through literally some of the steps that I would take. So one, I just pasted that 18-minute transcript in here. You and I are seeing this together for the first time in real time. Training SOP, understand and track deadlines, review the inspection addendum. We had this conversation where one of the inspections, we didn't have the report back. And she's like, well, the client said they paid for it. And I'm like, well, if they say they pay for it, reply, perfect. Can you let me know once it's done? Right? We walked through the process about different reports, pass fail items, radon, wood destroying insects. I use this metaphor of like, I want to ABC your list: A items, deal breakers; B items, significant; C items, cosmetic, right? So it just took all of the content of the class of the 18-minute phone call that I did, and it put it into an organized setting. In my mind, this is way better than asking ChatGPT, what do I need to know about home inspections? That for me is an example of like, I think we're giving it too much power. We all have a lot of knowledge inside of us. Okay. So now watch this. Do you want to make a checklist version, a one-page task oriented? Sure, maybe. But first thing that I'm going to do is, there's so many different places we could go from this. So one is, let's build a custom GPT that agents can interact with that will coach them on these steps. Okay. I don't know what this is going to pop up. While it's thinking, I'm going to do something else real quick. I'm going to come over to another software called Claude, and I'm going to say, build a website based on this training content. And I'm going to come to this thing and I'm going to grab, this 10-step guide that we just did. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to come over to Claude and I'm just going to paste it. Remember, none of this existed until we had an 18-minute phone call with an agent a couple minutes ago. So I'm going to have Claude start to build us out a website. When I talk to you guys about multimodal, here's the aha for me. And I think I maybe put a slide in here about this. The aha for me is it will be as easy and fast to build out a landing page as a Google Doc. When we want to present our CMA to sellers, when we want to talk through pricing recommendations, when we want to explain showing feedback, it will start to get as easy and fast to build out an whether it's interactive or not, but a kind of full immersion landing page that interacts with all of their visual senses. So let's go back. We're kind of cooking a couple different things at the same time. Thing number one, oh dear God, this is complicated. What did it just do? The coaches, buyer side agents. All right. So I'm going to copy this. I don't know if this is going to be good or not, but I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to open this thing up and I'm going to go to custom my GPTs. I'm going to name it inspection coach for agents. Help agents with inspection process. All this could be improved. And I'm just, can't be longer than 8,000 characters. Well, we got a whole bunch of error messages going on right now. So let's go to the thing that we were just doing. This thing that it made super long. Limit custom GPT to 8,000 characters so we can build it in ChatGPT. I'm gonna let that thing keep thinking. Okay. I'm gonna come back over here just to see how this thing's doing. It's now taken this and it started to build something out. So for those of you that run small teams, for those of you that are thinking of how could I interact with clients with some of this stuff, let's look at some of the stuff this is doing. Oh, wow. All right. It actually kind of built it semi-interactive. Let's see if it actually did it. I don't hate this. Okay. So this just from an 18-minute phone call with an agent where I just literally word vomited stuff that is in my brain. I've got the 10 steps. Who knows? I mean, again, half of this is going to be crap. Can we all just agree on that? Like, because we're not reading through it in real time. But the ABC system, best practices, understanding deadlines, understand the inspection addendum. Remember, if the buyer doesn't act by the deadline, they lose all inspection rights. Think for those of us that want to communicate what we're doing to the world in a more visual way, how much easier this is. I'm going to build something like this out just to show buyers. Right? Why not? But all of the content came without me doing any added work. I was literally just going about my day, having conversations as I would. If I'm talking to like later on this afternoon, I've got to call a seller and I'm going to talk through showing feedback. And if I have the recording of that conversation with the seller, if it's done on Zoom, I will take that Zoom recording and then go build out something that can outlive that phone call. Let me come back to this thing and see if it was still thinking here. Remember, this is one that I said, make it smaller. This feels weird. Make this simple text, plug into a custom GPT. All right, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to do exactly what we were starting to do earlier. I'm going to delete all of that and I'm going to paste it in and it's going to accept it this time conceptually. Inspection coach for agents, and we'll create it. And we'll say anyone with the link that can have it. Now, y'all are getting, I mean, this thing in my mind is total crap. So welcome to getting a free copy of a totally crappy custom GPT. Oh, good Lord. Not what I meant to post. Share. Anyone copy the link and save it. So I just put in the chat this item. And again, in my mind, I'm going through my first inspection tomorrow. What do I need to know? This right here is for me a pretty helpful start as I'm starting to organize out this content. Does that make sense? So I want to hear from some others on here. What are some of the ways that you're wanting to use ChatGPT that would be similar so we can actually build out some content? And let's see if this thing had finished. Oh yeah, we finished that one. All right, I'm going to pause there for a second. Ask some questions or share some ahas about that. I'm going to lower my hand.
I think, Seth, when you're asking about how we can use it for our teams, I'm like, I think those are the things that if we build it, they'll use it, right? Whereas they might not sit there and try to think, just like maybe we struggle a little bit to think, but if we get it set up for them, it could make them really efficient.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it of how do I standardize the stuff I'm doing? And then as a result, how do I standardize the stuff that anybody that inside of a team or framework is doing? But even down to like, I sent an offer over today and I copied the lender on the offer And my goal is that anytime I copy the lender, if I copy the lender on it, I want the lender to shoot an email off to the agent. Well, that's a standardized thing for somebody who's frankly not on my team. But this is not hard to do, to create a custom GPT that anytime I draft an offer in there, it's got a series of emails and it says, send this to your lender, send this on and on and on. And I do think it's going to get to the point now that it is, it's going to start to automate that stuff at a faster and faster clip. Let me jump back, because I really do want to know, for those of you from this past week, remember I walked through like several different tools inside of ChatGPT. Is there any tools that you were not using last week that you are now using? Any tools you were not using last week that you are now using? Who was using connectors last week? Who was using connectors?
I had some, but not all of them. So I added a lot more after our call.
Like, did you add the Gmail one?
Yes. And so I played around with that a little bit. I'm still working on some things, but there was some stuff I was trying out last week to see if I could get it to work with that.
Well, so like and again, I'm playing around with this stuff in real time too. I find that it is literally the play that makes the most creativity. So watch, I booked a bunch of flights for the family this past week on. Okay, so in theory, this is a task that I would give an assistant to do. For me, the hardest part when I'm actually like trying to teach or have a conversation, I'm like, I just want to move on and then have it come back. We'll see actually how long it takes, but it feels like watching paint dry sometimes for me.
While it's drying, I have a question, if I may.
Perfect. Please.
So I'm confused about like the prompt cowboy. And I did go back, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole video, but I think that everyone else is so far ahead of me that I'm confused. So I would like, where does that come from? Where is it and where does it go? Like, you are so fast. You do 3 or 4 things at one time, assuming that I know or everybody knows, and they probably do. But I looked at your video multiple times.
Thank you. They don't. You're just the paid one you're the brave one to talk. So thank you. So slow it down for me. This is perfect. Walk me through that question about prompt cowboy.
That's my question. So that's just my question is, where is it? Like, so one of the things that it seems like everybody already knows how to use AI. I'm still trying to figure out, it took me 25 minutes to figure out how to get from create to configure just in the ChatGPT, because you already know that you have your screen set up already, but our screens don't look like that. We didn't automatically set it up that way.
That's a okay. Well, let's. So
while we were talking, you went to Prompt Cowboy, but I don't know if that's inside.
Prompt Cowboy is just a website.
Oh, that's where I got confused.
Okay, so Prompt Cowboy is just a website. Frankly, they're all just websites, right? I mean, it's an app on your phone, but Prompt Cowboy is just a website. If I said to you, I use Claude, I'm literally going to a website called Claude.ai.
And if you type in where is Claude in ChatGPT, it doesn't know. So that's
yeah.
It doesn't know the basics.
Or it doesn't want to tell you about competitive products.
I get it.
That's possible, right? So right. I think in some ways, I'll still use Google for stuff like this, like suggested AI tools. I actually sometimes won't ask one product for suggested tools and other things, but you're absolutely right. What I'm describing right here, this is just a website. And I think that it makes you sign up, but so it says sign out here. So I'm obviously in, but I am not paying anything for this. But this would show you all of my past prompts that I've done. So, and for me, Prompt Cowboy is just pretty fast way to use somebody else's thinking to build something better than I would have done. It doesn't mean it's the best it can be done, but in my mind, if I can get 80% of the way there in a fraction of the time, I'm all for a shortcut. So is there an example? I mean, let's work through this. I promise you, Laura, this I think is going to help a lot more people. Is there an example of something that you're like, I really do wonder if AI could help do this inside of my business. And we could go to listing remarks. We could go something about the transaction process, name anything, and let's talk through it.
So I have two major things, and the
Okay.
listing is one, but I'm trying to figure out how to train my assistant to read my emails and get rid of what's not important and keep what's important and let me know if there's something urgent.
Okay. So first off, you're talking about a real life human assistant, and you want that real life human assistant to be in your email, and inside of your email, you want them to decide
What is important, what is urgent, and what can wait until later.
how are you training that human assistant right now?
Every day I am we're reviewing certain emails and I'm either sending them to her or she has lists upon lists upon lists of things. This is one of the hardest things I've ever done because every day I'm teaching her something new and it's been going on for over a year.
Okay. So I've got kind of two paths right now that I could go in this conversation. Path number one is how you could use AI better to teach your assistant. That would be a helpful path. The second path, which it might not be the path of today, but crazy enough, the path of very soon could be how could you teach AI so that AI does this for you?
Right.
Okay. Those are actually two different paths. One path, your assistant needs to move on to other tasks. One path,
Right.
Your assistant is literally unemployed in this task. So I'll tell you, if I was going to work on that in a couple of different ways, here's usually how I will start. I will start by talking to AI about a project that I want to do. So if I'm going to talk to AI, I will do it in one of two ways. I will either go into ChatGPT and I will use this voice mode and I will just talk. Okay. So we're just going to try that for a little bit. Okay. So watch. I'm going to start voice mode. Hey, chat, are you there?
Absolutely. I'm here.
Okay.
Let's dive right in and keep things straightforward.
Okay. I'm going to talk to you for a bit. I'm actually going to brainstorm. There's another person in the room named Lori. And when we talk to you, if you respond at all, I want it to be very short. I don't want you to interrupt us. We're really brainstorming, but at the end of this, you're going to help organize our thoughts. Okay.
Got it. I'll keep it super short and just listen in. When you're ready for me to jump in and organize, just let me know.
Okay. So Lori, real life conversation. You and I are just talking and chat's going to interrupt whenever it interrupts here. But when you think about what you want your assistant to know about organizing your email, anything that comes to mind, go ahead and I'll do the same because, hey, we all want this, right? I mean, I certainly want I certainly want anything that is legal compliance or deadline driven. I want that highlighted. I want any referrals taken to the top of the inbox. I think that I've got a ton of unsubscribe opportunities of just newsletters, etc. But then there's some stuff like Inman that I don't want her to unsubscribe. I just want it organized and in an archive setting. What comes to mind for you?
Understood.
Anything that was that to me or to him?
Well, it was to you, but chat's interrupting. Go ahead, Lori.
Anything that pertains to listings, sales, any type of anyone who is inquiring on any property that we have or wants to get information on for us to list or sell their properties would be urgent. That's something we'd need to know right away. Getting rid of the garbage is a big deal too.
So say more about getting rid of the garbage.
Absolutely.
No, not you, chat. Lori, go ahead. It's funny. I've never done a three-way conversation with chat on here. Lori, when you think getting rid of the garbage, how are you actually telling her what to do?
Anything that another realtor sends to me regarding their listings or sales can be deleted immediately. Anything that asks me, I just don't know them off the top of my head here.
Okay. Well, here, let's pause right there. So chat, now I need your help. Here's a reality. We're feeling very ineffective in having this conversation with our assistants. I want you to be a coach right now and coach us to give us clarity as the leaders of the team on how to give better instructions to our assistant. I need it short and bullet point because this is really just for training purposes in a class we're doing right now, but give me a few of your thoughts.
Sure thing. I'll jump in as your coach here. Just a few quick bullet points to keep it tight. First, be very clear about what counts as urgent versus what can wait. Second, give specific examples of what should be highlighted or filtered out entirely. Third, keep instructions simple and actionable, like move all newsletters to a folder called News, so there's no confusion. Hopefully that helps you to frame it more effectively.
Okay, honestly, that doesn't really help me at all. I mean, that feels very basic. I guess I need you to ask me whatever questions you need to ask that I can give you like A or B type multiple choice answers very quickly so that you can actually build out like a 1-page instruction that I can hand to my assistant and they will do a much better job in the next 5 minutes.
Absolutely. Let's do that. I'll just fire off a few A or B style questions so we can get this 1-pager sorted out quickly. First question. Do you want your assistant to simply highlight urgent emails in a special folder or send you a quick summary of those urgent items each day? Second question.
Hang on, chat, do one at a time. I want the summary. I want both. I want them in a folder and I want a summary.
Both it is. All right, next question. For newsletters, do you want them all moved to a single archive folder, A, or separated into categories like keep and unsubscribe?
Separated into categories, B.
Perfect. We'll separate them into those categories. Next up, for anything related to listings or sales inquiries, do you want your assistant to flag them for immediate attention in a priority folder, A, or actually forward them directly to you right away?
Both.
B.
Got it. Forwarding those inquiries directly to you. Let's keep rolling. For dealing with other realtors' emails that aren't useful, do you want them automatically deleted, A, or just move to a low priority folder that you can review later, B?
Lori, what do you say?
A.
A, delete immediately. Okay, chat, I'm going to end this, but can you summarize all this into a set of instructions that I can give to my assistant?
Absolutely. And let me sum that up for you. Here's a quick set of instructions you can hand off to your assistant. Assistant email management instructions.
Okay,
Urgent.
y'all, the biggest problem right now is that we're on a call,
Sure thing.
but
Let's
I would
wrap it
literally
up.
just turn the
So
volume
here's the
down
summary.
and walk away.
Assistant
right?
email management instructions. Put all
I'm going to see what happens if I hit end. I'm going to see if it actually pulled it. Keep going. But now I basically have just switched back to a text interaction with it, right? Great. And it did that. Thank goodness. So, I think on one hand, Lori, I want you to start to see ChatGPT or any of these products, but let's just talk about ChatGPT as literally a thought partner that you can use to actually have this conversation. I love asking it to ask me quick questions because I get super, give me just a second. Let's see. Because I'll get super bogged down in my head. But if I say, just ask me a bunch of questions, A, B, or C, it'll let me sort of give, just like you and I were doing, we'll give the really quick gut instinct response. And it doesn't bog me down. I'll tell it to ask me one at a time. So I just think A, B. It's kind of like when you take a personality test, right? There's like 50 questions. It's just like A or B, A or B, A or B. But I find if I just do that rapid fire, it gets to know me a lot better than if I say, give me 20 questions that I need to answer for my assistant. I'll look at those 20 questions. I'll get to about question 2 or 3, and I'm like, I'm done.
Me too.
Okay. So, I mean, first off, this here is not going to change the world for you, but I would have another conversation with it, and I would start recording every conversation I have with my admin. If I was having a conversation with my admin, I would have Otter going in the room, even if it was a 5 or 10 minute conversation. I'd have Otter going. So Otter, so let's go to the website. Otter.ai is something that there is a business plan. I think I pay $30 a month for it. But there's also a free version. You just get less minutes. But any conversation I am having with another human, if it's appropriate, I will have the conversation recorded so that we can throw that transcript into AI to organize it. I mean, for example, we've been talking right now with ChatGPT on this topic for let's say from right here. This is when you said, first off, a real life human assistant, I want their help with this. Okay, so I'm copying that right now. I just hit Control C and I copied it. So forget the fact that we were just interacting with ChatGPT. If I just take this and I say, build out an organized solution to my email management based on this conversation. And now I'm just pasting in the last 10 minutes of what we've been talking about. This for me is like another way at it. Go at it. Go for it, Lori.
So if I'm talking on the phone, I can't use Otter AI, right? Because I'm chatting on the phone. I have to be on a Zoom to make this Otter work.
Well, two comments on that. Number one, follow all of your own state rules about what you can and can't record, right? Because every state's different about two-party consent, one-party consent. But remember, the very first thing that I showed you, I did a call 2 days ago. I was driving. I made a call to an agent in our brokerage, and I knew that for about the next 10, 15 minutes, I knew it'd be about a 10 to 15 minute phone call. And I'm like, all right, it was going to be totally off the cuff from my part, but I'm like, I really want this content organized so that I don't have to just recreate the wheel tomorrow with another agent. So I said, if it's okay, I'm going to record the call. She said, sure. I hit record on the iPhone feature. And that means that it took the transcript, and the transcript went into the notes app on my iPhone and apparently on my computer, but then it froze my computer when I tried to show it to you guys from here. But if you can see my phone right now, the transcript is there, and I just copied that transcript, and that was literally what we were doing when I showed you this thing, right? When I said, oh, come on, Claude. When I said, build a website based on the following training content. Oh, wait, hang on. I'm sorry. We did it in ChatGPT first. So in ChatGPT, here's how it started. Oh, wrong one. In ChatGPT, I just said, build out a training SOP based on this coaching session I had with an agent, which would be no different than any conversation you have with your assistant. Summarize the notes of the last 10 minutes of my morning huddle with my assistant. And then I just dropped it in there. And I let it start to help organize my thoughts.
Can I Claude from Google on my phone?
Say that one more time.
Can I Claude.ai from Google on my phone? So I'm not sure, like, how do you know if your phone...
Don't worry about Claude. The reason I like Claude, think of Claude as like a 2.0 version of this conversation to make something visually appealing, right? This right here, we're in ChatGPT, and this built out just from asking that question. Hey, here's a training SOP on the inspection and repair process. Okay, watch. If I come right in here, remember this, we did this just a minute ago. Build out an organized solution to my email management based on this conversation. Then I pasted the conversation you and I had. You and I have not seen this yet. We're looking at this right now for the first time. A one-page assistant email management. Give this to your assistant. Purpose, keep Seth's inbox actionable. Surface deadlines, referrals, client contacts, and listing. Remove noise. Do this now. Legal compliance contract, label it urgent, forward to Seth immediately, and add to Slack text urgent, subject line, deadline, whatever. Listing.
How do you get the conversation taped? Yep. So you're spending your day at the computer, and you do a ton of Zooms with your people, and you see the average person like myself doesn't do that. We are out in the field making a living and just talking on the phone. Three
ways that I do it. This conversation right here happened because you and I were on a Zoom call. But if you were just in my office, if you were sitting right here, what I would have done is I'd have my computer right here, and I would have opened up Otter, and I would have just started recording. So
I'm rarely in my. How can you do it from your phone? That's my question.
Sure. So from your phone, if what you're wanting to record, there's two things that I want to record from my phone. Either I'm in person with somebody from my phone, or a phone call. If it's in person, I use the Otter app on my phone. Sorry, I guess you're over here. I should move. If it's in person, I use the Otter app on my phone. So for example, if you were in the room right now, so just look at my screen. I'm going to Otter on my phone. You guys won't be able to see this well. But right from here, I could hit record and it would just start to record and it would hear both of our voices. But that doesn't work great if you're making a phone call. So what I did 2 days ago when I was making a phone call is watch, if I literally dialed your number right now, well, everybody will see this in a second. Lori, okay, I think I got you in here. So watch, I'm dialing Lori's number right now. That's all that's happening. Lori's
Yep,
gonna
you're
answer
calling
it.
me.
Go ahead and answer it.
Hello.
Now what I'm doing is I'm going down to more and I'm hitting call recording. You're going to hear something in a second that says this will be recorded.
This call will be recorded.
I don't have more on my phone. That's why I'm confused.
You don't have more on your phone. It might be a you don't have more on your phone.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's something you put on your phone to,
No,
to
it's
there's
not.
some.
It's not. You might not have the latest update. Do you have the latest update?
Yes.
Maybe. Call me.
Yes.
Call me real quick. Hannah, let me know if you have it. And anybody else can hop on screen here as well. So Lori's gonna call me. I actually wonder if it was the person starting the call versus not. I am curious.
Am I calling you? Because I don't have it.
Sorry, you dialing? Oh, I'm sorry. It's on do not disturb. Try again. Okay, there we go.
I'm just not
You
sure
just
if I'm
call.
calling the right number. Okay.
Yep, you got me. Okay, now show me your. You have add me.
Where's the?
That's interesting. So I'll just tell you, try updating your phone. I just want to see. If you look at mine, it does have the button more.
I know that's what I'm.
That's nothing. That's strictly iPhone related.
All right.
That's not anything.
I'll figure it out. You can.
Oh, but Lori, but even if you didn't have that, if I was on a speakerphone call with somebody, if I was on to somebody on speakerphone or Bluetooth in the car, Otter would pick it up. If Otter can hear it, Otter will pick it up. It just won't hear it in your AirPods or something. Does that make sense? That's all. And all the big picture of what we're talking about here is I'm with you. I'm on the go all the time. So I'm actually looking for AI tools that come with me. And then in the background, I can go have them do a bunch of good stuff. Okay. All right. Did that start to answer that question? I actually, I wish everybody would get how much time you could save if you will start to make everything that you're doing kind of get double purpose. I mean, think of all the different client phone calls you made today. And if AI was listening to that and drafting emails to put in your inbox, there we go. I will show you, since we're kind of on the phone conversation, I will show you guys, I wasn't going to cover this today, but let's cover it. Productive.ai. So let me share my screen. A second. Productive.ai. This is a software that I use to record, to handle my voicemails. Is anybody, Hannah, are you using this at all? Have you seen this before? Okay. So like every freaking thing out there, y'all, it's $30 a month, like everything. But watch what it does. Lori, call my phone. And I'm going to tell you what to say. You're going to start to leave me a voicemail. We'll see if it actually works. So just call my phone. Let me know when it gets to the voicemail. And you can even put it on speaker and I'll talk to my own voicemail. You're on mute though. Unmute.
There you go.
So I'm pitching that to voicemail. So did it go to voicemail?
Not yet. Still ringing.
Still ringing. Okay.
Still ringing.
So just tell me, I'll meet you at 123 Main Street at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Whenever it goes.
Still ringing.
Yeah, just call.
No. What's that?
Just called through again for some reason. We'll
Okay.
when it gets.
Try it again.
No. If it's still ringing.
It was. So yeah, I tried you again. So.
I'm gonna decline one more time. Leave a voicemail and just say I'll meet you at 123 Main Street for a listing appointment at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Is it not letting you leave a voicemail?
Is it still ringing?
All right, give it a second. It's probably because
There
it's.
it goes.
Hello, you've reached voicemail. Scott Daly, this is Keller Williams Realty. I'm sorry, I'm not able to take your call right now. Please leave a message and I'll return your call as soon as possible.
Hey Seth, it's Lori. I'll meet you at 123 Main Street tomorrow afternoon. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay. Now, look at my screen and I want to show you some of the things that this will do. So I've got this installed. It sits between my my phone and it gets all my messages. So I'm not sure if this thing is going to pull up here in real time or not, but I'm gonna look in my email for productive.ai, and I want you to see some of the messages that it sent. So yours hasn't popped in yet, but check this out. Well, that one's not too handy. Let's find another one in here that is better. So Michelle, this agent called me. These are the notes that this assistant took of our meeting, of our phone call. It found her email address inside of my contacts. It highlighted all the conversation. It drafted an email right here to her based on our conversation. It doesn't send it. It does not, I don't think it actually drafts the email. This email to Michelle Barrera was drafted for you by Productive AI from your call because you promised to send her an introductory email connecting her to lender once you return from your hike. True story. Interestingly, what made this legal is the fact that it did not record her voice. It took notes of the call that I had with her. It gives me all that I need, and I actually could go back to the transcript and see every word I said, but it listened to her. So productive.ai is definitely one of those tools that I use. And this is for the most part made for real estate. I mean, I think that is their that's their biggest action item, right? Automatic task identification. Great. Let me send you an updated invoice by Thursday afternoon. Let's see. Again, I don't know if it would have done it, but let's see if it got it yet. Why did that throw it into Google Voice? Oh, you know what? I know what's happening. You have a different phone number for me. You called a Google Voice number. You didn't call my direct cell phone number, and so it was looping it through a whole bunch of stuff. That was the issue. So that didn't really help. But again, if I just show you guys some of the output from this, acknowledgement of receipt of home inspection, voicemails. Let's see if it's giving me information from the voicemails, but then it will start to put things into my calendar based on that. If I'm trying to see if I can find one in here for you.
I can call you back on your, I have another number for you.
Yeah. Here, this might be it. Well, I can just tell you, it will put these appointments inside of my calendar of what it identifies from the phone call. It's not perfect. I do not rely on this 100%, but this is a super cool tool. If we're all in the category of how do we get as many different inputs into AI that we can then start to use it. Okay. A few minutes ago when we were talking, if you guys remember, I said, I need you to, figure out all of my emails. Where did that thing go to? Let's see. Remember this? I booked a bunch of flights for the family this past week. Can you go into my Gmail and organize anything in the past week? It thought, here's what it found. Organize better as a one-pager. This is absolutely what I would have had my assistant doing. And even if you just think about this as doing 80% of it and then giving this to your assistant to review stuff and make sure it's accurate, What a huge win that is. Make sense? By the way, I mean, do better. This is missing info. Go back into Gmail. Do better. We'll see what that comes back with. All right. I'm going to come back here. Does anybody, again, I really want some of these sessions. Last week I covered a lot of content. I did not leave a lot of time for you guys to ask questions. I wanted this week to have more questions, or at least time for it if you guys have it. I hope it starts to make sense that when I start to think about AI, I'm thinking of it a little bit like this. I'm starting to like line up these dominoes, that if I do this one thing with AI, what could it then do? And if it does that, what could I line up again and again? Because I think we're going to start to see our whole world get automated, which could cause a huge problem, right? Because if you don't have pauses in the automation for a human to actually look at and be like, is this going right? We're actually going to start to screw a bunch of stuff up. Like, I would not want to ask ChatGPT at this point in time, review my text messages with Alice about our upcoming travel and book flights for me. I'd have a whole bunch of non-refundable flights. Like, this would be a big problem, right? I wouldn't want it going that far. So I covered this a little bit earlier, and you guys are kind of seeing this, but just remember, here's what I do a lot of. I do a lot of talking in whatever setting I'm doing it. It could be like we're doing right now on a Zoom call. It could be on a phone call. It could be in an in-person meeting. I think one of the greatest things that you can be doing as a professional is making sure that what you are talking about gets to a transcript. Once you get it to a transcript, AI becomes a tool that is really, really helpful. So if you're talking, you get it to a transcript. Once you get it to a transcript, get it to some sort of formula to do something with it. And when I say the word custom GPT, all that means is teach it once and have it do the same thing every time. And then once it does whatever it was going to do, have that turn into some sort of output. Okay, so let's give another example of this. So we had that conversation with the agent, right? And the conversation was, let's find the right one. It was not that one. It was not that one. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, it was this transcript right here, right? Remember, this was the conversation with the agent. So I'm going to do something different with it. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to go in and let me see if I've got a GPT that I would like for this. Well, we'll just build on a new one. I'd actually really love Hannah's, the one that she was using for blog posts. Hannah, is that one easy to share?
I think so.
Try to share it with me in the chat. Well, let's find out. So Hannah built a GPT to create blog posts. So I want to write a blog post right now. I want to write it in my voice. And where do I have my voice? I have my voice anytime I have a transcript that's me talking. All right. So Hannah, let me know how you're sending that to me.
All right, put it in the chat.
Okay. So watch. I'm gonna open this thing up. So now, okay, the prompt request. Hang on just a second. Copy. GPT is okay. So you might have made it so it's not viewable, shared with anybody with the link.
Oh, I have to push save. Sorry.
That's all right.
1 second. It's saving. All right, let's try again. Updating.
I think the action item for everybody on this call is starting to build one custom GPT every week. Find something in your life or your business that you could take some of the time off of it by getting AI to automate it, and then go spend more time with people you love, or go out on a hike, or do whatever you're going to do. This for me is like, I mean, that's what I'm trying to accomplish, is how do I free up more of my time? Okay, so I'm putting this in here. And Lori, I think this is in a way going to answer your question. So check this out. So Evelo's team website blog writer thinking, okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, write a blog post based on this teaching I did to an agent, but make it consumer facing friendly. And by the way, because so much of this might be based inside of Evelo, this thing might spit up of like working with the Evelo team, right? We don't know. We're going to find out. Let me go back to where we had. Where do we have it, y'all? I need to get rid of some of these. It was not that one. It's not that one. Not that one. Not that. Okay, it was this transcript right here. There we go. Found it. Copying that transcript. I'm coming back to this thing, which is the Evelo team website blog writer. And I'm just hitting paste. And I'm going to get rid of right here. I'm just literally going to write the word. Come on. Transcript. So it kind of knows, and go like that. So Laura, in my mind, and anybody else who wants to come on mute, I'm only going to interact with the folks that are on video here for a bit, is I had a conversation with an agent, but I totally think I could come up with content from that is consumer facing. And what I like about it is it's way better than just asking ChatGPT to write a blog post about home inspections, because and I should have maybe said this in the comments, like use my voicing, use my mannerisms from this call to train to my voice. Now notice, see how it pulled stuff up, right? It pulled up Indiana home inspection game plan. So yada, 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 kind of a long blog post. I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, redo this more in the voice of the presenter, change it for, to reference Seth Daly. Use the knowledge taught to agents, but don't reference that. Make it purely a consumer facing piece. By the way, way to go on this, Hannah. Like, I would not know my way around any of this stuff right here. Slugs,
Thanks.
data, like. But so here's what I like. I like that by actually just doing my talking, this thing starts to come out a little bit more and more in my voice. And I think all of you could start to have more content that actually sounds like you if you will get more of your voice into AI. The mistake that I see happening right now, primarily inside of the industry, is that we want to sound more like AI instead of having AI sound more like us. Right? Not to say that you don't want to change your wording and sound a little bit better. I get that. But it's going to start to feel really, really robotic if every listing description out there, it all looks the same and it all sounds the same. And if every social media post, like this is still who I am when I get voice to voice with a person. Right? And there we go.
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say, when we share GPT, can you go in and like copy and edit it to change the configuration?
Great question. So I'm gonna pull it up again, and you cannot, but here's let's try it. Okay, so I'm pasting that GPT in here. It's gonna pull it up and it's gonna.
Oh, it's probably because I refreshed it on my back. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Well, here, let me just do. I'm gonna go into the one that we had, right? And I'm gonna say using the results above, reverse engineer a custom GPT prompt for me to recreate these results that I can transfer to another agent location. Now, I'm curious to know if it'll do this. It might give us some like ethic block and say, you're just trying to steal Hannah's content. But every time I've tried using the results above, reverse engineer the prompt, it's given me something pretty good. And this, and in my mind, this is also what I would use if I wanted to, like, instead of going into prompt cowboy, you know, where I put a prompt and it gives me another one. Because remember, this is just you're typing input here and it's giving you a bunch of output. Well, it's the same thing. It's just a custom GPT. They just have instructions behind the scene. Watch, I want a prompt that will help me organize my email. A simple prompt. It's going to give a structure to its answer. Situation. See how it follows the same thing? Situation, task, objective, knowledge, examples. Somebody behind the scenes just programmed this. And we look at it, we're like, ooh, it's so much smarter than me. It's not. It's not necessarily smarter than you. Watch, if I copy that and go into ChatGPT, and I'm going to give it two things. I'm going to give you a prompt, then an answer, reverse engineer instructions for me to replicate this each time. Prompt was, what did we say? Prompt was, help me organize my email. Output is here. You guys see how, like, we literally can take almost anything we find out there and it's going to create its own instructions. So if you like this, just put it in ChatGPT. You can forget about prompt cowboy. Make sense? Let's see what we were still, oh, come on. Here, so here, I mean, who knows if this is accurate? This is long and complicated and I don't know, but role, goal, audience, voice, and credibility. But here is literally a copy pastable variable driven output you can do to build out consumer facing. Well, this might be specific for an inspection post. It's definitely specific. Yeah, no, I want general instructions to build out all blog posts, where I add in topic content each time. All right, let me pause on that. What are you guys seeing in this that you think you can start to use more of?
When you're talking about us all sounding like the same voice, and earlier you're talking about like how do we make this for our team? I'm like, I think there could be some pieces where we have like, I don't know, I was thinking about like agent training that they come in and I say like, here's the prompts you need to build out, but add in like your profile or your history or whatever is needed. And I don't know what those are exactly, but I'm just thinking that could make it where we have team things that are all the same, but there might be things where they need it for their own self and how they respond to things.
I love that. And you literally might help them build that out, right? So it might be like, I mean, I'm thinking of that as at a brokerage level. Might want to build one out that is everything that just in this sense of they're representing the daily group or Keller Williams Gateway. Here's all the different things that I would want always in there as like kind of basic ingredients. But then I might say, come up with 5 interview questions to interview each agent to find out, particular unique attributes of this agent, or ask them questions to learn more about their voice, and pull that in. I'm actually curious. So speaking of, watch this. I don't know if I haven't tried this yet. Let me just do it this way. I want to build out a brand Bible that explains how to talk in my voice. And I'm wondering for you to do that, if you can go into my Gmail inbox, but only look for emails that I have sent out to actually talk the way that I talk, and come up with a 1-page brand Bible that talks in my style. Go back in the last 30 days and only look at emails that I have actually sent. Don't look at the any other forwards, etc. Only look at the text that I actually wrote to come up with my style guide. I don't know if it's going to do that or not. Oh, come on. Yes, you do. I don't have access. You do have access. Now, 30 days is, in my mind, probably quite a ways to go back. But does that make sense? We're going to get to the point where literally this is going to do the work for us. And it's actually how you talk. Lori, when you think about your listing descriptions, I've always known you to be actually really good at that, right? Like you write good descriptions.
I do.
So how do you get ChatGPT the last 100 descriptions that you wrote?
I uploaded them, but I can't get ChatGPT. I made a custom GPT. I cannot get it to save. I know, I look back at your stuff.
Where did you upload it?
Where did I upload the information or
Yeah.
the GPT?
No, the information, all of your past. Was it like a Word document with like,
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a Word document. So here's the tool that I want you to consider using. Have we talked about Notebook LM yet? It's funny. I'm actually like covering everything that was on here just without us going into it. So right now we're talking about Notebook LM. Okay. So Notebook LM, I do not pay for. I think that it is included because I have a Gmail account, but let me see. Notebook. Oh, I just get into it. Missing to log in. Okay. So all of these, so Lori, you could create one of these and you could call it, you could upload a source. You could either download that PDF or you could go into Google Drive, or you give a link or anything else. Right. So anywhere that you have content that is out there in the world, you can source it into this. So, what might be an example of that?
I actually want to source other people. Like I have 2 books that I love, and I wanted to grab from the books and I won't know the name because I don't have them here, but like, is there a way to do that to have it grab the book?
Not as much into this, although there might be, but give me an example of one of those books. This actually, what you're talking about right now, in my mind, at the end of last week's session, I talked about priming AI to create content. So if we ask AI right now, help me come up with a business plan for next year, AI will do that, right? So watch. If I go into ChatGPT and say, help me create a business plan for 2026. Now, even my answer for this one will look different than yours because AI has memory. So it already knows I'm with Keller Williams. It already knows a whole bunch of stuff, right? But nonetheless, this thing here is pretty generic. Oh, but it's not, right? Because it already knew a GPS, a 1 through 5, that's a KW. Like it already got that. And it already knows so much about stuff that it's asking things like it knows about the software I use. It knows too much about me to be generic. But Lori, who is one of your favorite thought leaders when it comes to organizing business?
So he's not one of my favorite leaders, but he's my favorite for, I have the BMC, I have Darren Hardy's, how to business plan, his bot. And that thing it's incredible. I wrote a business plan, but now that I know what I learned last week, I know I can take that business plan and funnel it, because it was like 4,000 pages. It took me 5 months to write it. Took me 5 months to read it.
Yeah, and the hard part is AI will take a little sentence and it will turn it into, like, we could tell AI right now to write an entire book, but none of us have time to read that whole book. So it's this constant mix of, we want it to give us more, and then we want it to give us less, give us more, give us less, give us more, give us less. So let's say that it's Darren Hardy. If I simply, as a very short version, redo this only using the style and strategies presented by Darren Hardy. Now, is this as good as his bot? Of course not, because his bot's been trained on a lot more stuff. But if you want to know how I would prime this more, give me a list of 20 books or papers or videos from Darren Hardy. All I'm doing is I'm literally making it think about Darren right now. Right? So now I'm priming it. Redo the business plan now based on the above. Now, just look at the difference between the very first one it came up with to 2 times where we inserted Darren Hardy's language. And now the last output. And this was 3 minutes in. Now, only because Lori, like I am so ADD, I struggle with this right here. Even this is like too much wording for me. I need it to be stripped down a little bit. So I'm gonna grab the last content only because I like this other thing, which is a website. I'm showing you a website right now. And I'm just telling you guys, when I say the words multimodal, what I mean by that is go back and forth from text to other stuff. So in this case, I'm like, make this thing look interesting. Make me actually want to read it. Like I'm scrolling through a website that I actually want to read. So build me internal landing page to help me think through my goals based on this.
While you're waiting for it to come up, I do want to tell you that you grabbed it and copied it. It'll be something I'll have to go back and watch this 3 or 4 times. I'll have to go to the minute place to see how you grabbed it, because you are a high E. I'm a high D, and I can listen fast, but you're like.
I do know a lot of keyboard shortcuts. So the keyboard shortcut that I was doing is in a way less relevant, but right down here at the bottom of anything in ChatGPT, just start to notice what these things are.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what all these branch and new chat, that's cool, read aloud. But all I was doing right here is I was grabbing the copy.
Yep.
We'll see when this thing spits out. Again, guys, for me, all of this, I mean, this was actually some content we didn't go into a lot of detail on last week. That was an example right there of how do you prime AI? How do you give it make it think about something in a way that you then will want to think about it. So if you're going to give it instructions on help me write listing descriptions, yeah, if you can feed it the best authors you know of, and an example of that would just be tell me everything you know about I'm gonna pick Donald Miller. I just really like the way Donald Miller writes. Explain the writing style of Donald Miller, and then it's going to do da-da-da-da. I'll be like, great. Pretend Donald Miller was writing my listing descriptions. How would he change it up? And it's going to say this. Then I'm like, great, do that. let me see. There's a few ones that we had built out in here. Okay. I wonder if this will, yeah, look at how cool this is in such a short period of time. Copy the link. And by the way, this won't go anywhere yet. I mean, this is way cooler looking than it is. You know, $1 million. But this won't actually work. I don't think. I mean, it says it does. I don't trust it. I doubt it worked. It's you could fill this entire thing out and it's like, oh, just kidding. It was like a beta version. It doesn't actually work. But I'm telling you, in a month, check back. In a month, check back, it will. There's some really great questions in here, right? And we got this simply by asking Lori, who's one of your favorite authors, Darren Hardy, and coming in here and coming up with this. Right? I'm actually super curious to know if that works. Export reflections. Yeah, see, that's an example of like, okay, just kidding. We don't actually know how to do that. Okay, I would if for anybody who's listening but on mute, I love anybody to come on mute, share anything that you're getting out of this. And I just want to say, Lori and Hannah, thank you for being the brave ones on video. Never know what I'm going to get out of some of these trainings. What is helpful for you guys in
So, hey, Seth, sorry I'm not on video. I have my hair wrapped up, so you can't see
all
that.
good. All good.
But I've been taking a lot, even from the first 2 sessions. I think you're amazing with this AI thing. I thought I was just the only crazy one that was like excited about this stuff. So you've definitely taught me a lot of things using AI. Right now, I'm building a budget. I've never done a full annual budget for myself for real estate. And so AI has been helping me navigate through that. Like I have formulas in Excel and everything. Like I'm pretty proud of myself.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's and you know, it's interesting you say that. So like anytime if I was starting to build something that I was building kind of for the first time, the slide on here that I would pay attention to would be this one.
Okay.
Evaluator mode, 7 prompts hack, right? So like if I told AI, build me a budget for my business, and it's going to do whatever it's going to do, I will basically ask it questions to have it argue with itself, because I will think, damn, you're pretty smart. I think you're smarter than me. It will always be confident. It will sometimes be accurate. So have it build the budget and then say, okay, cite your sources or explain your reasoning on why you suggested that. Right?
I like that. That's smart.
Argue the opposite point of view of your own thinking. What is this budget missing?
Right.
Critique or refine your own answer. It's and that's just, you could literally say that inside of here. Right? So like in this business plan right here, if I just said critique your own answer, it will give me something, right? It's good, Paul. Thank you so much. Here's me critiquing my own answer. Okay, but let me take the content. So Lori, that was me copying it right there. And I'm going to go into a different one. I'm going to go into Claude, but I could go into Perplexity or Gemini or anything else. And I'm just going to say, critique this answer to a business planning. I don't even know what to call it. Formula. And now I'm just pasting everything that it did. Right. So now what we have is we put something in, and I don't know, maybe it's amazing, but we've got 2 AIs right now that while we're talking, we got 2 AIs that their whole mission in life is to critique what they're doing, how to improve it. So ChatGPT already came up with a way for it to improve itself. And you know that Claude hates ChatGPT, so it's going to come up with a whole bunch of things that ChatGPT did wrong, right? It's like the jealous younger brother, right? I might say, but I really like the way ChatGPT does it. So I'm going to take this feedback from Claude. I'm going to take that feedback. I'm going to go back to the older brother and say, use this feedback to and improve. And I just pasted what we just did in Claude.
It's pretty cool.
I love that. I want to see what you're doing with the business plan or with the budget.
Yeah, I'm almost done here, so I'm excited for it.
Okay, cool. Anybody else? Anybody else? This is see, Hannah, this is so I just have a goal of every day trying to get AI to do something for me that I didn't know it could do the day before. Remember how a few minutes ago we said we went into ChatGPT and we said I don't have it. Okay, here. I pulled the emails in your sent folder from August 26th to September 25th, 20 messages. I'm sure I did more. Look at this. Seth's one-page brand Bible. Core voice, direct, accountable, pragmatic. You speak like a leader who owns outcomes. I mean, this is a little bit of that grandiosity. You're approachable but not fluffy, maybe. Plain spoken, business-like. You take ownership. You're reassuring, confidence builder. Okay, pulled a line out of our tagline. But y'all, this right here, this would be good stuff to throw into here. I want to add this into my chat GPT memory, consolidate it to make that easier. And I don't worry a ton about typos, but I think that's actually some pretty helpful stuff to train my own chat GPT about my voice. And where did it get it from? It didn't get it from me telling it, oh, I talk real straightforward. I'm a high D. I literally showed it how I talk by having it go in and observe what I do. Do you want me to save this into your ChatGPT memory so it's always referenced? Yes. And it's going to send a note right here in a second that says memory updated, I think. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. All right, but we're over time. Done. I'm consolidating. I'm putting it in your yada, yada, yada. All right. We're done. Anybody else? Keisha, thank you. Thank you for that. Anybody else want to share? Then y'all, I will see you next week. Is this helpful? Are you learning more each time? And is it my biggest hope, much like my tagline of my business, is I do not want you to think that AI is above you. I want you to think that it is just like a couple little mindset shifts away from you learning it. You do not have to be a tech expert. That's what makes all this so different. And if I would love to slow this down and teach it more because I'm honest to God, only a week ahead of any of you at any point in time here. So, all right. I appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Seth.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.